the first movie review that I made from a trailer reaction that I react to. This is definitely something. Not to mention, this is a very emotional movie, so be prepared, guys. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Myra and welcome back to my channel. First of all, I think this is the first time I make a movie review while sitting down. I am sorry if that, changes a little something from the point of view of you, because I just finished running recently, like this morning, and I haven't run that far or that intense in a while, so I apologize about that if this annoys you. I don't know. And also, I'm filming this like at 9 p.m. and you would expect there would be no more sounds outside, but apparently there still are. So, good things all around, I think. Anyway, regardless of how I feel or what happens up there, I hope you are having a wonderful day. And if you're not, let me give you a hug. I hope that doesn't creep you out. Anyway, let's talk about the movie. Now, when I see this movie in theaters, I am once again very thankful for the guy that actually asked me to do the trailer reaction, because without that, I wouldn't know that this movie exists. So, thank you very much. And for me, it was such a beautiful storyline, such a beautiful movie. And once I understand the story, there's no wonder why I bawl like a dork in the end. I was like crying my heart out. So let's just continue to the preview of this movie first. I mean, I don't think I can make a lot of jokes in this movie because it touches a lot of aspects in my life, a lot of personal things that I might share with you in this video, because maybe it would help you understand the movie a little better. I hope so. The preview of the movie is about the struggles of a young boy that has a sick mother and has to overcome his fears and tribulations in his life. And as he is doing this, he has a little help from the monster in his dream. And the monster said he will tell this boy 3 stories, but he would ask the boy to tell the 4th stories in the end. And the monster already said that this 4th story would be about the boy's nightmare. So all in all, it's a pretty simple plot, but it got complicated because they didn't really go straight forward with it, and I will try to explain to you how that got complicated. I mean, it was pretty obvious that the story itself centers around the boy, about his worries and angers towards the sickness of his mother, and then there's his father who got married again and live in America and not with the boy, and there's also his grandmother who seems very strict, and then there's bullies. Lots and lots of interaction with them. Now, when the monster does come in his dreams, in the boy's dreams, I do not understand his purpose, and frankly neither is the boy. So it got really mysterious at the start. The boy thought the monster was there to heal his mother, to make her feel better, to make her, be normal again. So the movie was pretty cryptic, and even the stories that's supposed to help the boy is very complicated as well. It has a very different meaning from what I initially thought, and it actually contains the lessons of life. And that was the movie is all about. It was about how life actually is, and it's not a fairy tale, and how people or even children may have to face it, no matter how bitter it may be. I would say aesthetically, this movie is gorgeous, especially when it comes to the boy's drawing and when the monster tell about his stories. The animation is very colorful, very cartoonish, but it is not really childish. The rest of the story, apart from what the monster tells the boy, it's about the boy's daily struggle with life, how angry he was, and how the monster actually helped him to channel his fear, his anger, his true nightmares, and make the boy acknowledge it in the end. It's a harsh truth of life, but it has to be done. Otherwise, this boy won't be able to move on. I have to admit, for the people that doesn't really relate to the movie, it would be hard for the viewers to understand what was going on. Terminal illness is no joke, and for people who experience it, and for the people who is related to the person that has the terminal illness, they would know how hard it is to have a normal life and to face the terminal illness every day, and until it has to stop somehow. But for those that doesn't understand the struggle, this movie could be pretty boring, to be honest. It's heavy on the struggle, there's no joke on it, there's no grandeur or anything like that, just a bit of happiness here and there, and the rest of it is dead serious. And no wonder some people walk out from the movie before it's even finished. However, for those who can relate, such as me, the movie would definitely touches that sensitive part of you and practically squeeze all the sadness that you feel long time ago and will make you have a good cry in the end. When I finally get the morale of the movie halfway through, I remember how my dad was in a hospital for nasopharyngeal cancer, if I'm not mistaken. He suffered from nasopharyngeal cancer, and if you don't know about that, it is the cancer on the tubes of your ear that connects to your nose. So, like when you hear the word cancer, it just kind of, shocks you and think that this might be, this might be it. And it was the darkest day for my family, for my brother, my mom, and of course my dad. I never once thought that this would be the end. Even though it does fleet my mind, but it never has been the sole truth for me, because I always hope for the best. I always hope for the greatest possibility that could ever happen. But I can't help but think in the back of my head that I have to be realistic and I have to face the fact that the worst might happen, even though I only hope for the best. And that's, thinking about that is really, really hard. Not to mention all of the emotions that were in play, with everyone having to struggle with normal lives, and my father himself is having emotions because he's afraid of his, what would you do if you were in his shoes? Would you be scared? Yes, of course. And that's how he felt. And I was scared. We were scared. And that's exactly how the movies portrays the boy fear, because it's real, it's life, and like it or not, we have to push through no matter how awful and how bitter it may be. Okay, that got real for a second. I'm sorry if this depressed you in some ways, but it is how I feel about the movie. But let's move on from the sad part and let's get into the characters, shall we? Because the story itself is kind of sad. So, as for the characters, unfortunately, I won't be mentioning it one by one because it has a lot of good names and great names, such as Sigourney Weaver, Felicity Jones, Toby Kebbell, the one that played Masala Severus in the previous Ben-Hur movie review that I told you about. And of course, there's Liam Neeson, who voiced the monster character that we saw. Everyone played their part beautifully, and especially the boy, whose name I have to Google, and his name is Lewis McDougall. Oh, please correct me if I'm wrong. He's very believable as a boy who struggled with that kind of life, with a mother that is dying, with father that is no longer there. All the sad part you could possibly imagine in a boy's life. He made it feel believable, which is really, really sad when you see it in the movie, but actually great. So, should you watch this movie? Again, I would leave this one up to you because, like Ben-Hur, I think this movie is not for everyone to enjoy. It's different when I review an action thriller or things like, that grabs your attention right away. I would say that you should watch this movie if the movie is good, that is. This is not a movie for everyone because it has the theme terminal illness, maybe even depression, but it really have good messages for the ones who wants to know struggling with terminal illness. This movie has a lot of good messages. This movie would be good and realistic. Do not expect any fun to happen in this movie because even though it is fantasy, it's a pretty serious movie dealing with some pretty serious issues. But aesthetically, the movie is wonderful and the animation is wonderful. So if you want a movie relatable with your struggling life, or if you're just, general curious, I suggest that you watch this movie. I don't think it would waste your time and money. So, with that being said, I'm sorry if this movie review is kind of depressing because it does have something to do with the darkest part of my life, and I think sharing it would help you to understand the movie a little better. And I'm sorry if I sound like I repeat myself because this is what's on my mind. And yeah, I hope you like this movie review, and I hope you understand how real I must be for this movie review. And if you enjoy this in some way, if you enjoy this movie review in some way, do leave a comment below, like, or maybe even subscribe for movie reviews. I am usually not this depressing when I talk about movie reviews. I'm usually more bubbly and happy and silly. And feel free to check my other movie reviews. Just give it a whirl, give it a comment, a like, and subscribe if you do like this thing that I have going on. And with that being said, I will see you next time. Bye!